Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Frank here, working on the Cub Cadet forklift conversion. So I've got the dash mounted. The next step is to work on mounting the power steering. And so I've made this little cardboard template, as I often do when I'm getting ready to cut something out of steel on the plasma table. And piece of cardboard fits in here, and it will extend down past these two bolts and bolt with those two bolts, so the actual piece I cut will be an inch longer. And then the top edge of this piece of cardboard will support a shelf which will come across, and I have one on each side, and then that shelf will have a hole in it to support the steering valve. I've got the steering valve here, and it actually has a problem. As we noted last week, the steering cylinder had some scratches on the rod. This valve has perhaps an even bigger problem. I assume the damage here happened, I'm going to say it happened in shipping. It wouldn't have happened in use. I mean, I guess it's possible that, yeah, I'm going to guess that it happened in shipping. But these tapers, or these flares, are not supposed to be bent and dented like that. So the issue here is they're brazed into the valve body. I mean, this comes apart, but this body is still has these brazed into it. So it's not like you can just unscrew these and replace them. So I did order a tool which is a conical grinder lap hone that I'm hoping we'll be able to reshape these tapers so that the hydraulic fittings will seal without leaking. If I can't get them to seal, then I'll just have to get another valve. So a bit disappointed in getting this, paying, what I pay, $290 for the cylinder and the valve and the steering column. So we'll see. I'm hoping I'll be able to repair this, or at least fix it so it will continue to work. To be seen. In order to do that, I'll have to take this cover plate off and hone it. Don't want to get the grit or the metal filings inside the valve. I did sort out the connections on here. I can read I don't know if you can on the camera, but this one says AUX, this one says in, this one says out. This one says left LT, and this one says RT, so left turn, right turn. So those are the 5 fittings are labeled. Auxiliary is a port that would go to, on a Cub Cadet tractor, to the hydraulic lift. But in this case, that'll just be capped. So, and that is the worst of all of them. So if I have, you know, an issue getting that to seal, I guess it's possible that I could weld that up. Anyway, so that's what we've got, and it has, I'm going to mount it by these 4 bolts at the top, and we'll get rid of this plate and this bracket. And I think the 4 bolts in there will hold it in place. So I'm just getting I've taken the cardboard template, I modeled it in Fusion 360, and I'm ready to cut it out on the plasma table. I have to go see how this fits, if it's even close. That's pretty much a perfect fit. So I think that's pretty darn close. The dimensions look good. Fits on both sides. Okay, we'll cut another one out like this. That's 10.5. And this should be 7. So I need a rectangle 10.5 by 7. New design. Create sketch, pick the axis, which is going to be a rectangle, 10.5 by 7. That's all it is. Going to extrude it. .125 creates a body. Go to manufacturer. First step is let's change our units of measure to inches. Create a setup. Set the origin. We're cutting. No additional stock. We're going to call it, just call it plate. Create the cutting profile. Select the tool. Library, Crossfire Pro. Select that. Cutting it at 65 inches per minute. This is the red line is the cut line. Everything else is okay. Look at it from the front. Let's simulate it just to see what it's going to do. Cut in a rectangle, which is what we want. Exit the simulator. Generate the code. Pierce delay 0.8. Calling it plate. Everything's okay. We'll post it. Got the code. Go back to fire control. Import plate. There it is. Set program origin. Here. Alright, we'll turn the lights back on. There we go. All right, so the plate's in there. All right, the next step will be to mark it for the steering column. There's a grommet here that raises the edge of the square, so I either have to hold it like this and measure this gap, it gives me the approximate location of the mounting of the valve. Definitely moving. Alright, I've duct taped this up to protect the fittings as much as I can. Okay, we've got it apart. Just need to take this bracket off, and then we'll measure this arrangement, bolt circle or bolt arrangement, because that's what we'll need to work on in the support plate. I didn't realize this was overlapping the piece underneath. Alright, so that fits fine, pretty much on the circle. So, looks like it's a little bit off center, but shouldn't make any difference. Alright, I think that will fit. I need to get some fine thread nuts, 5/16 by 24, 5/16 24 fine thread nuts to hold this in here. So I have to run to the hardware store. Alright, the alignment's not perfect, but it's not bad. And this flex coupling will take up any difference, but that's pretty close. Alright, well, it's just in there temporarily. Obviously the steering column is a bit tall. I have to take a measurement, cut that down. Being a good boy. Being Tay's good boy. Sit. Sit. Alright. Being a good boy. Huh? Brew brew. You a good boy? Yeah. Good boys. Well, who's this? Looks like I got a little visitor here. Actually, I got two visitors here. How you guys doing, huh? Butchie and Brew Brew. What you guys up to, huh? It finally stopped raining. It's been raining for on and off for 4 days. Yeah. Alright. So they're finally a couple of dry puppies. They've been wet for 4 days. Well, they've been dry at night, but alright, so this is the axle I just alright, you guys. Good boys. Good boys. Alright. Alright, look out. So this is the axle I just took off, and you can see here this cavity, which should look like this. Butchie. Is full of material. I don't know what it is. Brazing or weld metal. Don't know. Dog food. What you doing, Butchie? Coming for some loving? All right, look out now. Go on. So I've decided to change this out because I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it's brazed. Actually, someone did a nice job. It's full over here too. So they spent a lot of time and money, a lot of time and effort brazing this back together. But since I have another perfectly good one, I'm going to go ahead and just put this one in. The old one was held in by this pin, homemade pin. Looks like they welded a washer on the front of it. It's supposed to be a pin like this, which has a space in the middle. There's a grease fitting on right here. If I can get the camera to turn. So there's a grease fitting right here, so you can grease the pin. All right. So that's what that space is for. All right. So let's see if we can go ahead and put this axle in with the proper pin. I said I had ordered a new steering cylinder, and this is what I got, and the rod looks beautiful. So I'm going to use this one, and actually, you know, both of these, this is a little worn, but both of these, this one looks like in much better shape than the other one. So let me see about swapping the hydraulic fittings. FedEx truck just pulled up. Butchie's out there going crazy. Brew Brew came in here to get something to eat while Butchie's preoccupied. That's pretty funny. All right, I think the steering cylinder is in good shape. I do need to put a safety nut on the other side, the other end. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Made some good progress. Got the steering valve mount finished. All that's left is to cut the steering shaft to length and weld it, cut a section of it out, about a foot, weld it back together. I'll wait to do that till we get closer to a driving tractor. Did swap out the front axle because I had a spare axle which was in perfect shape, and the one that was on the tractor had been repaired. The repair looked solid, but you never know. So I put my spare axle on. We got the replacement steering cylinder, which looks great, so that's installed now. And the next step will be to install the hydro control. And I'm going to install the control shaft horizontally through the dash, and the control lever will be vertical. There's no room in the dash here for the control shaft. This is the control shaft, and I can't run it vertically in the dash as it was originally installed because the interference with the steering valve. So I'm going to run it horizontally inside the dash. It won't be any problem. Actually, there's a, I have to drill that out a little bit. That's probably for a 7/16 shaft. This is 1/2 inch, but we actually use that bushing right there, and we'll run the shaft through here, fasten it on the other side, and this actuator arm right here is what controlled the hydro before. There's linkage from here back to the hydro, and so this will be fastened to the inside of the dash. This holds it in position. This moves, and what we'll do is I'll use this flexible shaft that I have that is a push-pull shaft. It's about six feet long. It's probably longer than I need, but it will work. I'll connect one end of it to this actuator arm and the other end to the control plates and fish it down inside the frame, make a loop, and come back and attach it to the control plates. So that'll be a simple way to transfer the motion from this arm down to the hydro control plates, and I think it's going to be much easier than trying to build a series of pivots and linkages to accomplish that, given my space constraints and the fact that I'm going to have this whole dash filled up with hydraulic hoses by the time we get done. So that's the plan. A couple more weeks we should have a driving tractor. After the hydro controls, it's just choke and throttle cables and the wiring harness, extending the wiring harness. All straightforward stuff. So I appreciate everybody watching. Leave a comment. I read all the comments. I answer any questions I can. If you have friends that are interested in this stuff, share the video with them, and we'll see you guys next time.